we were talking about when you decided to go back to school, get your degree. If you could walk us right back to the
Oh
point.
yeah, I was saying it was crazy because that journey, just kind of started like I was in Los Angeles in the Valley, and the show scene was kind of sucked up a little bit dry. Like we weren't old school enough to be old school yet, and so the market wasn't like how it is now for the '90s groups. It's like lovely, we eating, but it was like it was right on the cusp of like where's Shai been, and so but none of the shows were materializing. So I was like, you know what, man, I was this close to finishing at Howard. Let me just jump back in school and at least just have myself prepared to fall back on something because I know what kind of gray matter I have and I know, who I am in that regard. So I went back to school to undergrad, Cal State Northridge. And I fell into a crew of people, Dr. Karen Stanford amongst them and others. And we had this little crew called the Hip Hop Think Tank. And we started a journal that was dealing with, issues on the landscape of hip hop, misogyny, gun control laws, just a plethora of just different things. And we were writing, instead of writing rhymes about it, people were actually MC types writing research papers and articles about it. And so we created our own journal. And that journal started getting taken seriously as a research journal because we did, we really did a dope qualitative research project each time we kind of like did articles with it. And that kind of got us a recognition at a couple of conferences. We traveled to Atlanta, Georgia, to Georgia State. And, my presentation was kind of dope, you know what I'm saying? And, they were like, yeah, the Shai thing is cool, man, but we really see your, scholarly acumen, man. If you ever want to step this way and be a scholar, we love for you to come our way. So I taught school in Lawndale. The day I graduated from Cal State Northridge, I actually took off the cap and gown and went a few miles up the street and interviewed for a teacher position, for a California history teacher position at a charter high school called the Environmental Charter High School in Lawndale. And I got it. And so I was like, damn, this is about to be a whole new trajectory for me. Let me just think for a minute, because I didn't expect to just get it on the first try right out. I mean, literally walking off the field. So, Shai's still doing our shows, picking up steam. I'm no longer in the Valley. I'm in like straight LA. And then I go to my mom's on a Greyhound. I go all the way to Montgomery, Alabama on a Greyhound to think and reflect. And I realized that I was going to try to just take the scholarly thing a little further than usual and see where that trajectory led me. So I taught for 2 years, just long enough to get my feet wet in that school. And I became a good teacher, had a good impact. And then I went to a master's degree program in African-American studies at Georgia State and did a master's thesis on, what is African-centered education. And I sat in on the school, did observations. And that started feeling good to me. The scholarly part kind of made sense. I felt like I was serving through creating research that was kind of going to answer some questions, maybe some scholars, some lay people would have. But then I got the itch again. And when I finished my master's degree, I got the Asa Hilliard Award for my thesis because it was, I did put in the work and then got rewarded. So then I got accepted into the PhD program at Georgia State in educational policy studies. And I was like bugging on that, like, dang, I never envisioned myself even taking education that far. But here I was right there, fought my way in, and I got into the program, ended up getting a 4.03 grade point average. And I did my dissertation on how Black males navigate spaces of inequitable power distribution, looking at the classroom and looking at Black males in the music industry, which are two sides of myself. And, I did that and, getting an award recognized from the Arts and Sciences as Distinguished Dissertation Award. And, I became a scholar through that trajectory, albeit I've been around education my whole life. It was kind of dope to get recognized for something as a late bloomer of sorts, it was like, dang, that felt good. And, on the Shai side, we still kept doing shows. And so I had this double life. Now I teach at an alternative high school in Houston, Texas, the kids right before they go to juvenile detention facility. So I'm doing that Monday through Friday, but on Saturday and Sunday, like this weekend, I'm going to be in Columbus, Ohio and Cleveland, rocking with, like Monica and Tamar. And so I literally still had a double life and I love it. My kids see me on Monday and I'm anchored again in the realness. And I love that. So
that's dope. Like you're still grounded in everything. And I was, I was reading up on all that and all those accomplishments. And the fact that you're so still hands-on with the neighborhoods and trying to, help people that come from the environments that we come from. And
Yeah, sure.
it's a beautiful thing to see, you haven't lost touch with that.
And it's not even trying to help them. I'm just trying to know them, trying to know those humans in there that people kind of write off and judge. There's some brilliant humans in those classrooms, and I just connect with them real easy for some reason. They feel me, and I feel them back, and this synergy happens, and they start achieving, in ways that they might not have before, and it's so gratifying for me to just be a part of that process for sure, man. I get probably more out of it than they do, to be honest with you.
I totally get that. Totally get that, brother. So I mean, definitely, congratulations on all that, man. Where are you looking to go from here? Like, are you looking to continue to get more degrees, or are you just
fortunately, I guess, the PhD is kind of a terminal degree. So in that realm, I maxed out, and I really didn't do it for people to call me doctor and all that, even though some people say, nah, you're going to make people call you doctor. Right?
You earned it.
I did it for me, because I like knowledge, and I just like spheres of knowledge to see how far I can go in this sphere, in terms of my intellect. And I saw that I was pulling from some different experiential places, along with maybe I have a little bit of a gift intellectually or whatever academically, but it's some other stuff that a lot of people have in them too, that I noticed that just don't happen to be in those classrooms. But I'm like, yo, so many people will kill this if they were in here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it just made me see that. And my biggest takeaway from it, like I was telling you earlier, from that whole experience was, it's dope to be able to just be yourself in all spaces, man. Huh. That's like, ain't nothing messing with that. And I really was that. And I feel good about that.
That's dope. I speak on that a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I always, people that watch the show and watch the lives, they know I'm always preaching on just always be yourself. No matter what environment you're in, no matter who's around, be yourself. When you could be yourself around anybody, you know you're in a good trajectory.
I love that, man. Like, that's my biggest takeaway, and I strive to do that.
Awesome, man.
Sure.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Alice Levine. Alice, she had sent you I think she messaged you on Instagram about contacting you. Yeah.
Is that Hip Hop Police?
Yeah.
Hip Hop Police in the building.
And I told
she's
her
everywhere.
Yeah, she's every night she's at a different event.
She's everywhere.
Don't stop, boy. And
no joke on the lyrics.
Oh man, and then I gotta say, I asked her to if she could reach out, and she didn't hesitate at all. She's like, and I appreciate her, and I want to say thank you, Alice, to be out there watching. She does. I know she has her artist Jay Chosen, who just released some new music. For those of you that haven't heard him, his name is Jay Chosen. If you don't know how to spell Chosen, shame on you. But
crazy, bro. Yeah.
But anyway, moving on, right? Getting into the gist of where it all started, man. Let's get back into where did Shai come from? How did that even get put together?
It was just really, I really feel like our name, which means destiny in human form, in Egyptian, from the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day. Some people know that's the Book of the Dead, whatever. But Shai means destiny in human form from the male aspect of it. And when I came to Howard, I was 17 years old in this place called Sutton Plaza. And my first roommate was Darnell in the group. And he was from Patterson, New Jersey, from that school, Eastside High School, the Lean On Me movie. He was from that school. And man, we clicked instantly. Like, when we finally caught up with each other, it was funny because he was in the band. But we just clicked instantly, man. It was just like a trip or a journey as we matriculated through Howard. He went on to do this Alpha Phi Alpha thing, and that's when he got with Carl and Mark. But we already had found such a strong foundation being freshmen, living in the upperclassman dorm on 14th Street, Northwest DC, 13th Street, actually, 1230 13th Street. We were, it just created a bond that just never went away. And when we finally kind of connected back again, because I ended up joining the Nation of Islam. He was like Alpha. I ran for Howard University student body president. I was a liberal arts student council vice president, all those kinds of things. And I was pushing all of that because I was in a group called Black Nia Force. Big ups to Raz Baraka, who's the mayor of New Jersey, who's our leader. And you know, he had these dope plans of us getting deployed into our respective schools and running for office to command the budget. And he was going to run for Houston and win it. And he did that. And I actually happened to win my little part in the as a vice president for liberal arts. But, you know, we didn't do the whole thing because they, you know, whatever case may be. But that's how dope he was. But that put me in school politics, and I never would have done it. A lot of things I just never would have done had it not been for peers pushing me. But I ended up doing a lot of things, and then I finally met back up with Darnell when he was a full-fledged alpha and had a group called Beta, and they were auditioning for this talent show. And we had never done a show before then. It was 5 alpha members, and I had got married real young. My dad claimed me on his taxes, and I couldn't go back to Howard one semester because I didn't have the tuition because they dropped my financial aid because my dad claimed me on his taxes. So in that moment, I still had my housing, but I couldn't go to classes. So I was hanging out with Darnell in the fine arts room while he and this group would practice all these songs, Comforter, If I Ever Fall in Love, Baby I'm Yours, acapella, all these things. And I was just sitting there pretty much 8 hours out of the day after they got out of class. I would go over there. Eric Roberson was also in one of those rooms, those soundproof rooms. So was a drummer named Chris Dave in one of the other ones. So much talent. And we were just down there. And after a while, right before the show, 2 of the guys quit. So Darnell had only like 3 members left to go perform at this huge talent show that was about to happen at Howard. And so I was like, yo, man, I've been here every day soaking it up. You know, I know the bass. And Darnell was like, I know you got to know something, bro. We need you. You know, saying like, we got to have 4-part harmony. So they were doing all these Boys to Men covers, like Please Don't Go Away.
That was a big joint.
And we killed those. But we were the only crew to get like this, standing ovation and an encore request. So we came back out, but we were like, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, the show was crazy. It was like the Apollo, all the football players.
That I was gonna say, is it that venue? Wasn't that venue like it's notorious for people getting booed nonstop?
Yeah,
right?
Man, they booed people all over the place on there, man. And there was some dope artists on there, and we just happened to go last. I guess they were just worn out from booing people. But we went on there, and my victory was going to be to not get booed. Mm-hmm. So we came out to you know, and I was the one that said, injection, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Boom. And it was crazy in there. So we started off good. The applause was high. The energy was great. Boom, boom, boom. We were in the groove. We hit them with, please don't go away from me. Right? We hit them with the Boys and Men joint. Boom. People was loving that. We was getting them. The Hard Rocks hadn't booed and shit. And we ended it with something else. Got off the stage with the moral victory of not getting booed. And then next thing you know, we listen, it's a standing ovation in the encore. Like, oh, damn, we killed it. And so we come back out there when the curtain is closed. We met on stage. Was like, yo, what we going to sing? Our dad is full. We all the recorded joints, the Boys and Men joints, we done sung those. What we going to? And we was like, yo, y'all want to do our little acapella practice song? You know, If I Ever Fall in Love? All right, let's do it, man. So we went to the front of the stage. They opened up the curtains. And we started out with that, ooh, da-doo-doo-doo-doo. And then, like, the verse comes on, we popping our fingers, the crowd is snapping with us, they kind of in the mood. Next thing you know, Darnell comes out with this crazy, beautiful hook with the end, If I Ever. The Hard Rocks was all up in their feelings like this, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, check this out, this is crazy. And so by the next time the chorus came around, you know, I did my little my. Next time the chorus came around, everybody was singing the song as if they knew it. It was crazy. And so when the curtains closed, we were kind of still in shock that we didn't get booed, but they loved it. And we said to ourselves right there on the stage, hey, yo, y'all want to try to get a record deal? Y'all saw the response. Y'all want to try? And that's the night we decided. So that was the only show we did before we got signed. And we got lucky enough to fall into the right hands, and the right people got it, and the radio station blew it up, WPGC, and it started charting before we got a real deal, which pushed our label over the edge to go ahead and sign us to a record deal instead of a single deal. And that's how we end up flying to LA and being part of the MCA family. You know.
So, I read that you guys won a contest on the radio with If I Ever.
It wasn't a contest. It was more like WPGC, which was like the big radio station in DC, had just started featuring local talent because there was so much local talent in DC that hadn't gotten signed yet. People like Tony Terry, I know, was kind of busting at the scenes back then, could sing his butt off. The When I'm With You guy. A lot of talent, you know, a lot of rappers, just a lot of local talent. You know, Drew Hill is from that area. Like all these dope people from around there had a venue to kind of start getting their music played. So they had a home jam section on the radio where they would feature local talent that was dope. And they featured us on there too, but they also played our song in regular rotation. Like it snuck and crept in to the actual regular rotation for a little while, and that's what got the love of the sister stations back then. They didn't have the big Radio One consulting firms just yet. Yeah. They had more like sister stations who would copy the playlist that was dope, and then they would have P2s and P3s that would copy the Big Brother, Big Sister playlist. And if you were dope on one program director's mind, and he programmed you in on the P1, chances are you were going to start charting because a lot of other stations were going to copy that format, and your stuff is going to start being out there. And that's what happened to our song. It kind of blew up through the radio like that, and we started charting.
I was saying, did you guys chart before you got your deal?
Yeah, we started charting a little bit before we got our deal, so it made it a little easier for us to get signed. We had to come up with a radio equivalent to the acapella because the fear was that the acapella is dope, but they need to be able to serve radio stations that might shy away from that, no pun intended, who wanted a musical kind of like instrumental underneath the song. So the task was, and the challenge was for us with this little budget they gave us to go record a music version that was equivalent to the charm and grace of the acapella, which was already just like some magic. Yeah, like, how are you gonna come up with this music version that's supposed to be dope as that? Mm-hmm. But some kind of crazy way, Darnell got this Isaac Hayes sample, and then Mark and Carl kind of put music around it. Mark, boom. And next thing you know, the music version, If I Ever, was born, and then we changed the melody just enough to fit those chords that we kind of created. Yeah. And a whole nother hit was born. It was crazy. Like, we really did it again with that. And they released them both at the same time, and they both charted as one song, though. It was crazy.
That's so, like, there's never been an acapella song like that. Like, there's no acapella song that I could think of.
Well, that Coolie High Harmony, Boys and Men, was killing that. That was acapella. The only difference was, we wrote If I Ever. The Coolie High one was the movie. DC Cameron and them wrote that. But Wanye and them murdered it. Just murdered it. And that was one of my favorite songs. So when I fell into a group that was doing an acapella type of groove, and If I Ever was one of our songs, I felt like, shoot, we might have a little work for Boys and Men if we ever got out there. But you just fantasize it, just like a 6-foot dude that they can't dunk on the 10-foot rim with a killer 8-foot rim doing all Jordan's moves. That's kind of how I was in my mind of, like when I saw If I Ever, and I was like, yo, this song, we might be able to mess with Boys and Men. But, really, they way up there. Mm-hmm. And we messed around and got signed and really performed with Boys and Men. It was crazy. So they're our peers now. And big up to Sean because he really, really is a special, human on the planet. That's a dope brother right there, Sean from Boys and Men.
Real quick, just want to give a few more shout outs, especially to my mom and my dad. My dad's birthday's tomorrow. My mom's birthday was yesterday, 22nd. My father's the 26th. She's the 22nd. So just want to say happy birthday to you too. I love you guys so much. Thank you for everything you've done my whole life. I don't know dope, what man. I would do without you guys. You guys are the greatest, man, the greatest.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah,
but my piece.
George Anthony, he's a fellow singer as well. He's in here. Just want to say what's up to him. Erica, I see you. What's up, love? Janice, what's up? Danny, I see you. Millie, Eric, what's up, brother? Holly, Christine, Nilda, Millie, Jess, I can't keep going. Lindsay, guys, I'll be here forever. You already know, but thank you all for tuning in. So moving along, right? That was the golden era for me personally. I know there was the time of the Temptations and Stylistics and all these other great groups, but in that time, right, you have Shai, you have Silk, Boys and Men, Jodeci, 112. Could go on and on. H-Town. You got a little before that was Guy. And Guy, I'm a big fan of Guy.
Don't forget Mint Condition. They always get left out.
Condition.
They my favorite.
I think they're one of the best out
Hands down.
Out of more. I mean, the
talent
vocals,
wise, you probably don't even get no better. But
yeah, vocals, amazing,
and instrumental, like musicians too. Because Stokely, as dope as he is vocally and lyrically, that boy is a drummer really. With all that skill, and he's really a drummer. Like after all of that, you know what I'm saying? So
I never even knew that.
That's his main instrument. That's what he really, really, really does. Like you ain't even get to see him kill that. Like, yeah, Stokely's dope. That's a beast. So, and the rest of them guys are too.
When you guys came into the game, what was the level of like competition with those groups? Was it competition or was it like just
it was like it was a respectful competition because like everybody was a one of one in that time period. Nobody had each other's sound. And so you kind of naturally have a respect for somebody that ain't biting your style. You're not biting their style, but they came up with that dope ass shit all on their own. Like, damn, they got a dope joint. They got a dope single. They got a whole dope swag, like their own thing. And everybody, SWV had their own thing. Jade had their own thing. UMV had their own thing, you know. But Boys and Men, H-Town, Silk, dang, so many other dope groups. Mint Condition, Portrait. Dang, so many dope ones that was out there.
High Five.
But then, you know, right before us, right? High Five was right before, you know, but the Rude Boys, you know, Levert, all of them set the stage, you know, Force MDs, like TJ Swan, you know, nobody beats the Viz, you know, all, Full Force. Like all of these people kind of like inspired us to just be comfortable in our skin, being black men that could sing, going ahead and making them sing that singing thing. And then, you know, Jodeci, man. Them dudes, the KC and JoJo with the voices, man, I had never heard no young dudes with them type of voices. And then, you know, Devontae killed the production. That was a unique group right there in our time. I'm just like thankful that I was a peer. Like, dang, I was a peer with them dudes. We still are. And it's crazy because I would have been a fan, just period. Like that music was incredible. And
you know what you said before, it's so dope that it's so true. Like, you know, you see these groups and you would think there'll be a lot of similarities, especially in that time. But everyone had a unique sound. Like
and everybody, you know, and we had little elements like harmonies, like Silk had harmony, Shai had harmony. We probably went a little further with the harmony thing on the most part, but they had dope harmonies when they broke it down. Boys to Men had harmonies, but just did it different. We all did it just so different. But everybody would stand on the side of the stage and watch the other groups perform because we genuinely liked what they had. You know, I genuinely loved to see Silk band kill. Like Silk was banging. And SWV came out on the Little Buff was a Superfest. Boom. Jay, you know, the Don't Walk, the whole crowd, the whole stadium would be rocking with Don't Walk Away. You know, and then sometimes BBD would close or LL would close. You know, the Godfathers, you know what I'm saying, or Naughty. You know what I mean? It was just such a dope experience to go through that as a coming of age kind of brother. That was just really dope, you know.
There had to be something special. Like, say,
yeah, because I never aspired to be that. Like I didn't grow up wanting to be this singer, so I felt like I'm supposed to be here. I arrived. I never felt like that. So when I was in there, it was like I was in the bonus round of the video game. Like, dang, look at this, yo, this is wild. Look, yo.
At what point did you realize like this shit's happening for real?
Man, the point that I really realized it was like something really special is going down is like as soon as we had our single, we didn't get to do anything in the United States. We didn't get our presence known. I don't even think we had a video yet, but people knew that song. They sent us overseas to do a promotional tour. So our song is bubbling under in the States while we're just overseas for a few months. We don't know what the tone is yet or the pulse or the flavor is in the United States regarding, you know, our appeal. We don't know yet really. You know, you get reports, but you really don't know. So we fly in to New York as the first stop, which is back then was like the tastemaker of the country. Like as New York goes, the country goes taste-wise back then. And so especially through music. And we landed in New York and we had a show in a mall, right? I thought it was going to be some cheesy, you know, you hear y'all got a show in the mall. I'm thinking in a mall. Come on, dude, we got to perform at a mall. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking because I don't have any idea of what the actual venue really means. And so we went to this dope mall. It was like three huge floors. Gerald Austin from the Manhattans was rocking with us. And but when Shai went up there to rock, like all three levels of that whole mall, people almost fell over the side because it's like the NBC suites where you can see down from the top level, you can see straight down. It was like we were down there and everybody was just leaning over. It was just crazy. It felt like this. And the applause and the thunderous roars we were getting just in that mall, and malls can suck up a lot of sound. It felt like the roof was about to blow off. And I was like, yo, for us? Are you serious? And then we get out and we get in the limo and somebody crosses the street and recognize, yo, that's Shai. I'm like, yo, stop playing. Stop playing. And I was thinking to myself, like, yo, we must have made it or something. You know? We in New York and somebody actually gives a damn enough to stop and say, yo, that's Shai in New York? Even if he thought it, so most people wouldn't. It was a dude too. Most people would, you know, a dude probably would have thought it and told his son, yo, I saw him Shai down the block. But this dude stops like, yo, Shai. I was like, yo, there's no way this is happening.
Speaking of New York, You guys went and first tried to audition for all the labels on the Avenue of
Oh man,
Americas.
that was crazy. So after
Yeah, I
we
remember those times.
agreed to say that we were going to try to get a deal, we actually got a car. We had our little manager. We drove up to Avenues of the Americas up in New York with all the labels kind of situated on it, and went to Electra, went to all these labels singing the acapella. Some dudes was in there smoking cigarettes, just totally just disrespecting the whole movement. You know what I'm saying? And we came away feeling defeated, bro. We went to Atlantic, Virgin. We went to like 7 labels we had appointments with, and they all gave us the riffraff. But it was funny because a few of those labels, after we got signed, like really approached us like, yo, man, how come y'all didn't come check us out? How come y'all didn't come to us first? And I was like, wait a minute, dude, we signed for you. You was on the phone with the cigarette. Like, you remember? You know what I'm saying? So it was just crazy how that goes in the industry, man. That Hollywood aspect is just so ridiculous. But yeah, man, we went up there and sung our little lungs out, man, for a whole day, walking up and down the pavement, hitting all them labels. Had a little interview or two and go in there and they humor us and listen to us sing and act like they're going to do something. But of course they didn't. It took us to break through, like the Wu-Tang said, unexpectedly.
That's how it usually works, right? Just want to read this real quick. Gennaro Vidal, he's another fellow singer. Those Eyes, make sure you guys go get that. It's out now. He said, I don't think any of us singers out here cannot admit to singing that song. Lord knows my group sang it for our Tasmania record audition. So thanks to him and the guys for writing a great record.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I tip my hat salute, man. Like, that was, we knew, it's funny because in real time, we knew that was a dope song, but we were so naive that we thought just because that was a dope song, we should get a record deal. Like, that's how much confidence we had mixed with naivety. But how like God bless his little babies, like balls will be bouncing all around him and won't hit him. Like in that naivety, we used it as fuel and we messed around and really got a record deal because we didn't know how much we didn't know. Like, so we didn't have that fear. We just really just went there and just made it happen. And I'll often trip out on that. Like your life can go in so many directions just based on what kind of internal audacity you may or may not have. You know what I mean? That's so real. Like so crazy.
So real. So coming up, you're in the scene now. You're the fly guy of the group. You're the ladies' man of the group. We're gonna take it there. There goes the neighborhood. You're the ladies' man of the group. How was how did that all hit you? Because obviously there's the moment where you realize you guys made it.
Yeah.
And then when you're seeing all these women screaming, going crazy. I remember being in high school and I remember how the women used to go crazy for you. That everybody loved Garfield. It's like, oh, Garfield, he's Shai. And I remember that. I mean, once I put it up that you was coming on this week, all those same high school girls would hit me up. Oh my God, I loved them. So it's like, when did that hit? Where it's like, whoa,
it was like you never get totally used to something that crazy. Like that's such an inflated reality. It's a reality, but it's not a real reality. It's like, that's like to be in that as the feature is crazy, man. Like, but I knew that was like, even though I consider myself a handsome dude and all that, but I knew that was just a way unrealistic. Like that was craziness. But it felt good to be, every young guy's dream is to be able to get that kind of attention. Like, hey,
like you lived the dream. You literally lived every man watching this.
That wave, you ever see the surfers and then they catch that big wave, but they get to that thing, that loop that be going over their head, and they going through that little. I was in that little thing, and it was just like, and I knew it when I was in it that I was in it, and it just felt so like, yo, this is. I'm looking around and poking it, like, yo, that's wild. What if I wonder if I can do this. Oh my God, I could do that. Like, damn, that's crazy. I ain't gonna do that no more. Like, I was navigating it in those kinds of ways because I knew it was so stretched out of a reality. But to my credit, like I was already rooted in who I was, and I kind of achieved a little popularity even at Howard University before I jumped into the industry. So, and Howard is like the best of the best of the best of everything. So if you can manage to some kind of way be known there in some kind of capacity, you that'll prepare you for the world. And I did get prepared. I was kind of dynamic then, doing the kind of little things that I did where it stretched me and made me kind of know how to be in that. Like I never took myself that serious like that.
Gotcha.
To just and it helps me even now, like I feel like blessed that stuff like literally happened to me. That's how I look at it. Like that happened to me. I can never undo that. Like that really happened to me, and it's so cool because I get to eat off of it still. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like I trip on that. Like, dang, people in their life who dreamed of that, and here I am sitting in that position, and I just sank or swam. I just made the best of it, and you know, it broadened me as a person and put me up in front, because if left to my own devices, I would have been the dude holding up the wall in the background, not really interacting with folks. I wasn't really an interactor. Like, but since I was tall and people kind of knew me or whatever, they came up to me, and it made me have to like deal with people and, you know, be a people person. That kind of gave me skills. I wouldn't have had those skills. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good side. I could have done without the industry side of it though. They sharks.
I hear that. And Miss Anna Morales asks, what would Garfield's advice be for upcoming artists?
Do it because you love it, not for the money. And make sure the product is dope.
Yeah. Can't say it any simpler than that. You definitely can't say it any simpler than that. So moving on, right? You have now you dropped the album in 92. 92 was when the album dropped.
Yeah, October of 92, around this time of year, because it was my birthday. They celebrated for me.
So you have a incredible single out. You guys are riding that wave on that single, right?
Yep.
How do you guys now, you know, at what point were you guys, I mean, I know at that point the industry probably had, your label had a lot to do with what was going to come out next, but how did you guys end up, you know, was there like a battle for like, listen, this song has to be next?
It was so dope too, because if we didn't have this battle, we would only had 2 singles off that first album. So what happened was, a couple of things happened. One, we started getting word that black radio was getting mad at us. We was like, what we do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? They was like, yo, you know, Silk done been over here 3 and 4 times. Y'all too good to come over here. You know, we was getting that kind of energy. But in our mind, we just signed this record deal and we just doing what our label tell us to do as our employers. And that's how we looking at it. We're not looking at the implications of the moves, you know, because we in it and we young in it. So we don't have that business acumen all the way down yet. So we just doing what our job description entails, not realizing that there's a whole community that's attached to our sound, to the sound, and so they taking it serious. And so now we have the accountability part. Like, oh shoot, wait a minute, we came from Howard. There's no way people can be thinking that we don't support black. Like, hold up, hold. So when we reassess that, we also start hearing rumblings of, yeah, people like that If I Ever, but it's a whole bevy of people that love that Comforter. That love Comforter. The black people, they wanted Comforter second. And I was like, hold up. And see, the cool part is, yeah, we're in the marketplace, we singers, but we're product, but we're human. We can also retain information and then take it back to headquarters if need be and spit it. So when we could take this intel back to the label, they had already made up their mind to come out with Baby I'm Yours, which I used to like Baby I'm Yours before we put music to it. Like, I liked when the piano played, because if you listen closely, we used to do it just strictly piano and vocals before we recorded it. The chords are all Marvin Gaye Let's Get It On chords. That song is really Let's Get It On. Boom, 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 boom.
Did that version come out or no?
Nah, but that was the original way we used to sing it. So when we got a record deal, we only had 2 weeks to do an album. So we had to like just throw some music to some of the stuff that we had a cappella. And so we put music to that one. But the thing was, they wanted that to be pop. So we got that little thing in it.
Yeah.
That used to drive me up a wall, because I remember just used to be so soulful, and that made it so pop. So they would want to put out a pop record second, which was going to destroy our black fan base, because we was going to go to white radio stations to support that on the playlist. Gotcha. So we fought for Comforter. We told them that Comforter was the one that the people wanted. And they wanted to, you know, how they told LeBron to shut up and dribble. Our label basically tried to tell us to shut up and sing by saying, no, you just handle that part. We got this. And we made such a stink about it that they wanted to prove us wrong. And so on the strength, they released Comforter with no money. Like, our video was just pure low budget, but it worked because we was kind of cool in it. Like, you know, cool college student, you know, the vibe was kind of melodramatic, whatever, but it was cheap, especially compared to somebody like Missy Elliott with her videos. Like, ours was just dirt cheap. And they didn't put any promotional dollars behind Comforter. And it was crazy because we were able to, like, word of mouth, and people still influencing radio by calling in Comforter without any push went out the gate gold, which meant that if it had a push like the other songs, it would have been platinum off the top. But it went gold, and they put "Baby I'm Yours" and it charted in the top 10 without any push. It just floated there because it was a strong song and people loved it, not because anything the label did on Comforter. And then the "Baby I'm Yours" got put out, but they had to pay a lot of money to get that popping and put it where it needed to be and finally get it in the top 10. They paid for that to be that, be that way. They put a lot of marketing money, and Comforter did nothing, and it just organically made it to number 9, I think, on the charts, top 10. So yeah, man, that allowed us to get 3 singles because they weren't gonna put 3 singles out on that first album at all. They were just gonna write us off.
That song was used in the bedroom many times. I can't even give you even act like I can give you a number how many times that song played in the bedroom.
Yeah, and I was blessed to be kind of like the lead vocal on Comforter. Even though everybody sung a part, no doubt, we always switched up and everything. But yeah.
So when you had your ladies back in the days, did you ever listen to your own songs while you had the ladies?
I never did. I still don't. Like, I always try to play our music around us. I like our music, but I don't like to sit there and listen to my own stuff. Unless it's just everyone's, like, if it's been like 15 years since I heard a certain song and I done damn near forgot the words, I might find like that. Like, we had like Changes, which was one of our dope songs to me that I actually enjoyed. Mark wrote that one. And I forgot the verses. Like, I was like, let me go get that, and plug it in. And so I listen to that. But just in general, like, listen to If I Ever, I don't know, man. I always, I like that everybody else listens to it, though. Please keep listening. But trying to plug up this phone.
Because I was surprised because I just realized this week while I was looking at everything that y'all didn't have a video for Together Forever either. And that was another one.
Man, I wish we did. Mark wrote that one too, man. And Darnell and Mark sung that, man. Me and Carl did the backgrounds. But that was like one of the prettiest songs, man. Mark really put his foot in that, man. He wrote that in high school before he even became a member of Shai. He already had that. He just brought that to the group. And so, Darnell, I want you to sing the second verse. And D killed it. Yeah. Mark killed it. Lyrically and everything. So that was a wedding song. People request that to this day. For sure.
But like I said, for me, my favorite was probably, I would have to say probably Comforter. That was
that Comforter? Yeah, that was a lot of people felt that way. And I felt proud because, like I said, I was able to, they picked me. Look, I was sleeping in the studio. It was like a 12. We used to have the studio from midnight to noon. We had 2 weeks to do the album, and we used to record from midnight to noon. And it was like one night we was almost about to leave. We used to all drink Mickeys. So we was all off the Mickeys, man, knocked out. They was tracking in the studio. I was sleeping on the couch. And like right now, how my voice is kind of going out. They were like, hey, yo, Garfield, we want you to go ahead and sing the first, sing lead on this one. So I get up from the couch and they just put me in the booth, man, and just turn the track on. Like, all right, Harry, we only got a certain amount of time, try to get it in. So you will hear me at the beginning of the song say, talk to me, baby. I'm listening. And the only reason I even said that is because I needed some kind of way to know how my voice was about to sound because they pushed play, record, and just threw me in the booth. I ain't know, if I need to warm up or nothing. So I had to say something, see if I had any phlegm on my throat or whatever. But luckily, my voice was cool. It was able to do what it needed to do on that day, whatever. But yeah, that's the story behind them little talking words at the beginning, the reason why they even came out.
It just got recorded.
Yeah, I need to say something. I need to have something up there just in case I was sounding groggy.
Back then, did they even hire vocal coaches and stuff like that for you guys? Or
man, they try to put us with a vocal situation when we first got signed, like doing their due diligence. They try to get a little vocal. They try to put a little vocal coach with us, and I learned a couple of little cool things from them. Actually, it didn't last though. They just left that alone. But he taught us to resonate at our lowest vibratory frequency to get the phlegm off, and we'll have an easier time going into a higher register later on that night if we relaxed our voice after that. So literally like buzz, like buzz down there, and when it's time to finally sing, your higher frequency should be a little more clear. And I use that to this day because my voice always can go hoarse. Like I always, as a kid, I had a little froggy voice. My voice would always be hoarse all the time. So I still get that.
So are you married now?
Yeah, I'm married now.
You're married now? Okay.
I got married last year, December 2nd.
Oh, dude, congrats, brother. Congrats, man. Congrats. Sorry, ladies. Take it.
And I just turned 53.
The ladies acting up. We got the ladies acting up in here. Oh man. But So when you came out with the following album, right, which is another one of my favorites, "Come With Me." That
yeah, the song "Come With Me," yeah, on Blackface album.
That was so I hear there was like some political issues with that album.
With Blackface?
Yeah.
Man, they gangstered us. Like it was a couple of things that messed us up. And one of them was that, like, I really pushed for that Blackface because I felt like we came from Howard and the whole history behind Blackface, you know, like Al Jolson and other people and others. You know, they were, you know, it was a diss to black folks. But the whole concept of Blackface, even though they twisted it up, I wanted to reclaim that. Like, Blackface is dope. You know what I'm saying? On a real. And so I kind of put something together to be in the face of that old school Blackface. You know, I try to make a counter narrative pretty much, and use Blackface as the cathartic piece, like to make people realize that Blackface is dope. And everybody, you know, black is as a construct. Everybody can have a black face in terms of that attitude, that vibe, if they can imagine that. So, you know, same way the expectations is for everybody to have a white face in terms of how our behavior patterns are designed based on what's the ruling elite. You know, it's based on white behavior. And we fall into that in corporate America and all that. But blackface is dope too. And blackness is an ism that could be expounded upon and inclusive of other things, just like how Asian classes get rounded off to whiteness or blackness, depending on, you know, how they're perceived by whiteness. Those are constructs that can be malleable. So blackface, you know, just like how hip hop absorbs from white people, like Eminem, even though people want to beef, go battle M then if you want to beef. You can't front on the dude, man. The dude got some bars. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether there's other doper dudes, then we can debate all that too, no doubt, and I feel that way too. But you can't front on M. M is dope. But anyway, as I go back, you know, we named it Blackface, and I got to sit in on the power meeting, you know, at the round table with Al Taylor and Randy Phillips, all the big wigs. And I remember, you know, our president wasn't comfortable with blackface, and he thought it was going to be a prohibitive factor for the album coming out. So he said to the head dude, was like, yo, we can change it, the title if you want. And I'm thinking, I was like, oh, you mother, you know what I'm saying? I thought you was with me. I thought you brought me to me because you was down. Now you're going to flip up and tell him he could change it?
That's
after I done came to you with this album concept. Oh, okay, that's how y'all do it up in here. Oh, shit. Okay, let me just observe. But the big man, the boss, was like, nah, leave it like it is. Leave it like it is. I like that. Don't change it. I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, does he mean that? Or is this game? Like, I was in there like, and it turns out, this is how cold they did this. We did this big, huge showcase for Uni, which is the people who distributed our albums back in those days. And so to impress them, those are people who are the marketing and sales reps who got to sell your product. So it would behoove you to do a show for them so they can get it, like in terms of what you're trying to present. So we did this elaborate show. We got props on MCA Universal lot, like Egyptian chairs. We had 6'1" Egyptian girls with incense walking through the area. Like, we did it up. We all dressed in this sandy brown and beige motif and just killed the song, boom, boom, black. Okay, we impressed them. They was all hyped. But guess what the label did? Man, you know, at the music store back in the day, they used to have the new albums coming out would be on the wall. They would have it written out with the date.
Yeah.
We wasn't on the wall. Matter of fact, they shipped our albums to the store before they released a single, about 2 months before they even released a single. So without a single, man, now people don't know your album is out in the first place. Ain't nobody checking for that. They don't even know it's out. But you just got albums sitting in the store. Now, when the album's sitting in the store for like 2 months, the people in the store is like, yo, these ain't selling. Send these joints back. And that's just what happened to us on Blackface. But and even with all that, we still went gold off the top. But we were supposed to go platinum off the top with that one too. But that's how it. But they sabotaged. That was no oversight. The label just didn't accidentally do that. So that happened because one, we had we Arsenio Hall show. We brought Minister Farrakhan on there, and so the next time we went on Arsenio Hall show, they asked us, you know, how we felt about it, or they asked me or something. I know I spoke on it, and I gave him props and big ups because I felt like that was going to be his last episode. Because when you put the minister on, it's over for you. And he did that, and I knew he did a bold move. So before he was canceled, I just wanted to give him props because maybe other people wouldn't. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to thank him for just, you know, even if he wasn't totally in line with, you know, the nation's views or anything, just to have the gall to just represent a points of view to the point to show balance and say, this man need a platform. Boom. That was a ballsy move. A lot of people don't give Arsenio Hall enough credit for how much he sacrificed by doing that. For sure.
Yeah, and I never knew that.
I always give him the ultimate respect. Plus, he was just a dope host, man. People need to go back to Arsenio format, man.
Who didn't watch Arsenio all night, man?
Man, that dude did it. He was good at what he did.
Very, man. He's the best. He was definitely the best at it. Hey, Garf, man, I don't want to put you on the spot here, man, but this chat is going nonstop asking if you could sing a little something, because you know, I don't want to get any hate mail, you know. So right now it's looking
my
like
little horse right now, but yes, baby, yes, my. The very next time she'll be my friend, yeah. That's cool right now. I'm kind of.
There you go, brother. Appreciate it. Round of applause.
Little horse right now, but I'll get it back together.
That,
I'll go live on my thing when we do the show in Cleveland or Columbus this weekend. My voice will be nice and robust and no phlegm on it and all that, and I'll be able to. I'll go live up there. I'll probably take it out on stage and go live. You never know. I'm crazy sometimes.
Hey, they'll be waiting. They'll be waiting for sure. So another joint that y'all had, right? That was one of my joints too, but I don't know why I didn't get much play. Was with my favorite rapper of all time, Jay-Z. Right? You had what's that? I don't want to be alone.
Or the
right?
KRS-One?
No, the Jay-Z joint.
Okay, yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
So look, that's crazy how that happened too. Because so we was on MCA, right? You think the machine, as big as MCA, would internally have all of their places like sewn together, but it's so piecemeal in there. Like departments are in silos. Like you literally have to have a manager just to go there and put needle and thread and connect them together just for your project. They are so in their own worlds in there with all that money at stake. They are so like a just entitled kid that just is used to just having everything and just throws like valuable stuff on the floor and they was just so like aloof to be so moneyed. It was so crazy to me that they weren't tighter internally, but they weren't. The legal team was, but the people in there. But so tonight, right? They had just hired a new black music department. This dude Harrelson, Dave Harrelson, or something like that. And he was in there, and he was gonna have to prove himself and all that. Meanwhile, instead of us getting lost in the shuffle at MCA, because they had the Mary J. Blige project, they still had the Jodeci projects, Meatloaf. You know, a lot of people there would like had big projects coming out, and we were like, man, let's do something to kickstart our project. So, because we had just come from Gasoline Alley, which was a joint venture with MCA, to now joining the label proper. We were on MCA for that Blackface album. So they did a dope photo shoot for us and all that. They had Dolce & Gabbana, all kind of dope stuff. It was cool, and but they fronted on the original image we were supposed to have for Blackface was supposed to be like a dark hall, like in Egypt, in underground, like a dark tunnel, and with flames lining the way, like those flames that mount the wall, like flames. And on the wall, you see cracks and crevices in the clay where some have fallen out. And behind those cracks and crevices in the clay, you'll see parts of our faces being revealed as human hieroglyphs. And that was what Blackface was supposed to reflect, us as pharaohs, basically. And that, because Shai is an Egyptian term that means destiny in human form. The female opposite is Reninette, which means fate. But the label shut that down, shut the art department down and everything when they had drawn that, just shut it down. So we ended up having to go with this composite because they felt that was too strong of an image or whatever. We had to go with this composite of our faces. So it was cool. It was a little collage. Okay, it wasn't the same thing. It didn't say the same message, but the album was still called Blackface. So I was like, all right, cool. So boom, boom, black. So then we do a song with Jay-Z. We call up Marley Marl because we wanted to track. We wanted to do something different. We got that Nobody Beats the Biz track from Marley Marl. I was like, yo, I got something for you. And they gave us that boom, 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 boom. He gave us that, right, with Nobody, DJ Swan, all that, right?
Yes.
So me and Darnell sat down and pinned that whole joint. And we was trying to figure out who could rock on it. Like, we went through the whole Snoop. We went through the gambit in our minds. And then he was like, yo, let Marley pick. That's his track. Like, I'm sure you got a stable of MCs. We tripping. Let Marley pick. And Marley at the time was like, yo, I got this dude right now that's bananas. Young dude named Jay-Z. You know, he just finished. Ain't no like the one I got. No one can do better. right? Yeah, just did that, which was crazy. With my boom, killed it, right? Him and Fox Brown. And so he rocked on it, did 3 verses. At times you can find me in the city singing or in the studio touching the track up like pretty women, spitting venom, apply fresher than you and your men's, and they might just do career ending. Y'all know what I'm representing. Funds extra low, got a 1 on the 10 next to dough. He said, I'm not alone. He said, best believe I'm not alone. My music menage a trois with Shai and I. And he coming with the verse. He did 2 more. He just killed it. And it was crazy. It was #1 Hot 88. One, because Marley Marl was the DJ at Hot 88. So that was like his song too, right? So politically it made sense. And he spun it the hell out of it. But New York loved it. The DJs loved it. And the label, we paid for it, right? Out of our own pockets. So the label didn't technically pay for it, but reaped the benefits of the fact that it was hot in New York, in the market that makes all the taste. And because they hated on us, they didn't even do a video. Jay-Z, Marley Marl, Shai, we did an album. They didn't even have to pay for it. They didn't even give us a video for the song. We never did a video. MCA just was like, no, we're not doing a video. Like, what? And then we had a meeting with them, and the dude, Dave Harrelson, was trying to sit there and tell me how dope the song was, as if I just didn't have any idea what just got created, right? Trying to convince me because it's hip hop. Like, you know that song is dope. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my God, yeah, we paid for it, put it together, rocked on it. Yeah, now what you gonna do? But that's just how it went down, man. And we just got caught in the crossfire, in the undercurrent of just the industry and the people trying to come up. Like Dave and his crew, they were in the Black Music Collective, and they were trying to prove themselves as such. But the powers that be, I'm pretty sure, shackled them. If I actually was probably more honest and looked outside of just me in the equation, just looking at the big picture, they had a lot of pressure. They didn't want to take no unnecessary chances, and because as an A&R, if you take on a budget and it don't come through, you gonna get fired. So they just stick to remixes and stuff that they know work, a song that they already know work. They just do a remix. You know what I'm saying? So not that we were a chance, but they had other artists on the roster that had more attention from the label than us. And so that, they just kind of like let us fade to black. But that song was hot. It was popping. It was definitely a hit. And if they had done a video with us and Jigga, that still would be played to this day, I'm sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
But Jigga loved it. That was all that counts. He invited us back to do a show with him on a rooftop one time in New York. And that's when I got to like meet, Old Dirty and all the Woo was there. It was a dope night.
Yeah, OD that was my man. OD.
Yeah, Dirty
he was one of the kind, boy. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, for sure. He knew what time it was.
Want to let's just give a couple quick shout outs real quick again. EVE, what's up? Appreciate you joining us. People, I see a lot of Zena. What's up, Zena? I know there's a lot of people on here that I can't see the actual messages. I'm looking through 2 different on my phone and on the laptop. So I know I'm missing a lot of people. Apologize. That's the StreamYard. It is what it is, but we're gonna keep it moving along. So now we're gonna, again, we're gonna put you on the hot seat a little bit here. Not a hot seat. Just there goes neighborhood questions. I like to ask a lot of the artists to kind of go through it all, right?
Hell yeah.
What was your one real whoa moment when, after your career had started, you guys are in it? What was it like a moment that just kind of blew you away?
That blew me away?
Yeah.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way.
Oh, easy. Okay, so Bill Clinton had just got elected president of the United States for the first time, right? And they always have this thing as a part of the election ceremonies down on the Washington Mall area. Every time there's an election, there's a big extravaganza. And in this one, it was going to be, they were singing We Are the World, so they had to have, Ray Charles played the piano, Quincy Jones had to direct it, Michael Jackson, of course, had to be there if they're going to do We Are the World. Diana Ross was there, James Ingram, Benny King, Take 6, Ashford and Simpson.
That's crazy.
But Chelsea Clinton, the daughter at the time, who was still like 12 years old or something like that, 13 maybe, was like, yo, daddy, can you get the group Shai to come? So we can have some young people here to rock. Mm-hmm. And because of Chelsea Clinton, they invited Shai. And so we got to really just Luther, like hobnob and rub elbows with all the greats, rehearse with them like every day for maybe like a week. We was in this like a cipher. To my right would be like
That's
Diana
awesome.
Ross. She would be in there with some dope little tight jeans with some Timbs on, with a sweatshirt, with a big hair coming out, you know what I'm saying? Hanging next to the, you know, college kids. It was us. James Ingram behind us playing pranks, doing that little high voice that he go into and running. Quincy Jones look at us, think that we causing the problem and get mad at us. You know what I'm saying? He over there laughing, you know, like little things like that. You know, I remember Sounds of Blackness was there, and when it was time, it was their turn. It was just, God, to hear them sing was just, it's just beautiful to hear, man. God, Jesus.
That's
but just
amazing.
to be there, and Ray Charles was commanding. And then I got to meet my idol, Stevie Wonder, but I met him in the bathroom stall when he was peeing. And I couldn't think of like what to call him. I never anticipated meeting him face to face or next to him. So I couldn't say Mr. Wonder. That sounded weird.
Didn't sound right.
I definitely couldn't call him Stevie. And hell no, I was gonna say Stevie. No. So I ended up calling him Mr. Stevie Wonder. And he said, huh? Who was that? I said, hey man, I just wanted to meet you. You know, my name is Garfield. I'm from the group Shai. And he started singing If I Ever, man.
Wow.
Blew me away. So the fact that I got to perform
amazing.
with Michael Jackson, Stevie, Luther, Take Six. We shared room. We were like roommates with Take Six, and they was giving us props for our harmonies. And he was like, yo, y'all are the ones who inspired us. And it was just dope that there was so much respect, man, for the craft. And I got to meet all of them people and then actually really rub elbows and have rich conversations with them. And, you know, in my career, you know, a lot of people can't say they got to really, really be cool around, you know, Michael and, you know, Ray Charles and Quincy and Stevie and Luther and Diana and, you know, golly, like, it was just that was a dope moment for me right there, like for sure.
Out of all those, who was the most intense during rehearsals?
The most intense by far was Ray Charles.
Ray Charles, was it?
Oh my God. Like the band, because he played with the Pit Orchestra.
Yeah.
And they better be on the right pace with him, because, you know, he embellishes. And they supposed to have enough soul to be able to follow that. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes they was too stiff, and he'll call them out on their stuff every single time he didn't care how. Slow down, too fast. You know, that was Ray, man. So it was just dope to see him command and show mastery like that. Like, and he got respect because and his chops was crazy. So anybody in the pit that was listening to him play was probably mesmerized. That's probably why they was going too fast. They was they was listening to his chops. But yeah, that was just dope, man. I got to really live through history. And the second time, I felt like that we got to do something at the Apollo, and we got to sing with the Stylistics, man. We got to sing.
I had Arian Hall.
Love will never find the words. God bless you. We got to sing that. And
that's
Darnell that night. My boy Darnell in the group, he got up there and went ballistic. He sounded just like Russell. Well, not just like, because Russell was only Russell, but Darnell was really close, boy. Like, shoo, it was a great night. Russell's a beast, man. And, you know, he was running, he was jogging regularly during that time. You know, I mean, he was doing everything to keep, you know, he was in shape. Yeah, his diaphragm was like, he was in there.
I had Arian Love on maybe about a few weeks ago. When I say one of the most classiest men I've ever met in my life, I mean, just
articulate, like the words, pronunciation.
True.
That's the days when they had artist development, man. They was different. They was cut different.
Yeah, he left an impact on me. Like I hit him up.
Yeah, that's a real OG right there. Yeah. James Ingram was like that too before he passed away. He used to give us some sage advice, and we would do nothing but listen and follow it. And I had a lot of respect for that guy, man. Even though he was a damn prankster, he used to get us in trouble all the time. That's my guy, though.
So another one I'd like to get asked here. You coming into the industry? Who was a childhood crush going?
A childhood crush I used to have?
Yeah.
Were
you ever able to meet them?
Wow. Well, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. One of my little childhood crushes at the time when I was a little teenager and full force get busy was the Lisa from Coke Jam. You know, I Wonder If I Take You Home. I used to have a little crush on Lisa. You know, and we actually did some shows with Lisa in our grown old age. You know, so that was cool. Who else did I have a crush on when I was a kid, yo? Oh, I used to like Apollonia and what you call Vanity. I used to have crushes on them back in the day. And then when Janet was the little girl, like when I was younger, and Janet was like Penny, and then she went on the Then she went on with Willis and Arnold and them when she used to pop up on Different Strokes.
Yeah.
Charlene.
Different
back
Strokes.
in then, that Janet.
Thinking back.
Yo, when I was little in high school, I used to be like, yo, Janet. And then the other one was the only other one was your girl, the daughter, Bill Cosby's daughter, married Lenny Kravitz back then.
Vanessa?
Nah. But she was light skinned.
Lisa
Bonet, yeah.
Lisa Bonet,
back in high school, I used to have a crush on Lisa Bonet. But that was pretty much it, crush wise. I'm sure I had other crushes, but I can't think of nobody right now. But I remember those.
All right. Give me your top 3 songs of all time.
Oh my God, I can never ever do that. Oh my God. I could never ever do that. One of them will probably be Maiden Voyage by Herbie Hancock, Giant Steps by John Coltrane, and maybe like Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants by Stevie Wonder.
That was a good one. That was definitely good. Who was your favorite artist when you started in the business, and who's your favorite artist now?
My favorite artist has always been Stevie Wonder. If Stevie Wonder never hit the music scene ever, music probably wouldn't have the same kind of sensibility as still can even retain to this day. Like groups and people like writers, people like Charlie Wilson probably wouldn't exist. Like so many people spun off from the mind and the intellect and the melodies, and then that harmonica. But just saying the right thing when love's in need of love today. Like when that came out, he was the one talking about Martin Luther King and Happy Birthday to you. How many people sing that for Happy Birthday instead of the traditional one? But he was actually advocating for Martin Luther King to get a holiday. How many people took a chance through their music to even say anything like that? Like all the stuff that he, like You and I, Lately, Rocket Love, man, Too High from Intervision. Oh my God, Talking Book, Music Aquarium, just like, oh my God, like Stevie is everything. So I love Stevie, Donnie, and Marvin. Those are like my big 3 in R&B. And then I like Johnny Hartman over in the jazz area. And Sarah Vaughan is my favorite female vocalist over there in the jazz arena.
You're deep rooted into the music, and that's something, I think when you're able to speak on it in that manner, you open up the ears and eyes of everyone out there, and you say, wow, like this guy's music, this is why he was able to be a part of something so historic. Because
thank you, man. I appreciate those words for sure.
Sure. But so the last one is, besides the U.S., what was the one other country that you went to and was just wow?
Yo, I got sucker punched by this place. It's actually, I'll be remiss. I'm gonna be a tripartite. It's gonna be 3 in 1 because there's 3 places that literally sucker punch me. Well, one place I expected to be dope, and then it was as advertised, and that's like anywhere in the West Indies, Jamaica, British Columbia. British West Indies, anywhere. And that thing is just beautiful, and it matches the postcard. Hawaii does too, but the Jamaica, I could live in Jamaica, man.
I love Jamaica. It's my favorite.
I could just live, and it's so cliche to say that because everybody always talk, but it's really dope. It's actually really dope like that.
Wow.
The other place that's also cliche, but the city is dope. They play hip hop in every area of the city, even in the white business district, in the elevators, in the lounges and restaurants. They probably don't even have no idea they listen to like Tribe Called Quest style, like hip hop instrumentals. But when you go to Paris, man, the architecture is crazy. They got hip hop everywhere. They got people that they commission to even paint those little things they protect the wires with on the street, the little things that come up, they usually green or something. Different artists go and tag them up and spray paint them and make them vibrant and beautiful, but they get paid for by the city. It's like Paris is just so dope. They got rent control where I don't think that they can charge over $2,000 a month to rent something out. Like, so you know that if you're going to rent, you have a certain baseline that you can live in an art district on top of one of those boutiques. Like, it's just, man, Paris is so dope. And the place that really sucker punched me the most, man, I had no idea I was going to fall in love with Germany. I love Germany, man, especially Cologne and Berlin. Those 2 places in Germany are like, people. Y'all, you think about Hitler and all that, throw that all the way out the window. If you go to Germany, and I ain't saying go to München, you know, for Oktoberfest, or Munich rather, from Oktoberfest, but go to like Cologne or Berlin, man, and just lose yourself for a week. You'll be in a club and you'll come out and it'll be tomorrow, like 11 o'clock in the morning. And you felt like it was still yesterday in there. Like, it's just so authentically just dope, and everything is like real, but it's still like a oldness to it but it's a vibe though. If you go to the right places and you go to the right people, it's like a free spirit there too, in a lot of ways. You know, that you don't equate usually with Germany, but they take their little clubbing seriously. Everybody rides their bikes, so they in shape. Even though they eat a lot of meat, they ride their bikes, so they end up being thick in shape people. It's crazy.
Thick in shape. I like that. That's my preference.
You know what I'm saying? Germany, boy. They got a lot of military bases out there, so you can still have your American culture and stuff. And they love American culture. That's the other part. They embrace American culture. So if you come out there, you get love. You know.
I love to hear the stories about, you know, because it seems like every artist that I speak to that speaks about traveling to all these different countries, it's always like, it's just, they say it's just so different from the States. When you go
it really is, just in all facets, just everything, even down to the little micro details of how apartments are laid out. Like the apartments there, they use every single nook and cranny of this available space from the floor to the ceiling in the European like apartment style apartments. They got like little crevices that you would never think to look in that let out into a such and such, and that it's like, but the house is dope because of it. It's like a doper way of being. Like it's but they use space. They don't like just waste things. And so like even like if you go to a McDonald's over there, they don't give you ice with your drink. They pour you the soda. It comes out cold from the tap, so it's cold. You have to request ice. You have to request napkins. You have to request hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? They don't waste that. Usually people just snatch about 12 of them and then throw 9 of them away after they use one of them. They ain't playing that over there. Like, you know, so it's a different way of being. It's a little different kind of a consciousness. It's cool. It's got its downsides and upsides too, you know. But it's dope in a lot of ways too.
I just want to know if you ever been to PR.
Man, I never got to go to Puerto Rico. My dad goes to Puerto Rico and laughs in my face because he know how bad I want to go to Puerto Rico. Yeah. And you know, growing up, you know, when I moved to Boston, you know, I got curly hair and all that. So I used to like Puerto Rican girls used to be attracted to me. So you know, I would get a Puerto Rican girlfriend and she'd be like, nah, you gonna speak some Puerto Rican, you gonna speak some Spanish, boy. You know what I'm saying? And so even though I was taking it into school, I learned way more Spanish through Puerto Rican girlfriends and stuff like that than I probably learned, you know, some of the stuff I know. But I can understand more now than I can actually speak, because I something about conjugating certain things I couldn't really remember how to do it. But I think I got a cool little vocabulary.
I always thought you was mixed, like maybe Puerto Rican, Dominican.
Yeah, them girls, that's what the Puerto Rican girl. But I got a dark-skinned dad, but he got a lot of like Native American in him. So he got the real cold, wavy, kind of like deep wavy hair. And then my mom is light-skinned lady, you know, black parents, but light-skinned, and, you know, her hair is curly. And I'm a lighter-skinned guy, I guess, right? In between them two. And I end up with the curly hair. People always thought I had processed hair, but nah, this is my hair. It's mine. It's my stuff. I still got it too.
It's official. It is official. Mm-hmm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, you are shit out of luck. We are at the very end, and y'all missed an amazing interview with the intelligent, talented Mr. Garfield, Dr. Garfield Bright. Let's get that correct. And I just want to say to you, man, thank you so much, first and foremost, for coming on the show and being able to speak to everyone on this platform and allow them to go back down memory lane. And man, like I've told you, you gave me so many great times in my life to this very day that I still play. I mean, listen, your music is my son's favorite music now.
Wow, man! I wasn't ready.
Like, I remember I'm in the car and I'm playing If I Ever, and I see him like through my peripheral singing the lyrics, and I'm like, what? You know the whole song. It's like
crazy,
and
bro.
It was such a dope moment for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a dope one for me to hear that. That's really dope. The next generation is feeling that like that. That's crazy, man. So yeah, I'm blessed in that way right there, man. That I never get tired of hearing anything close to that. That's just incredible to me. Like that, like I got chosen to be a part of that. It's crazy. I want to tell people they can check me out, the Garfield Bright Experience on the IG, and you know, I just started doing subscriptions. I was gonna say prescriptions, subscriptions, and you know, 99 cents. And I'm like, you know, stuff like this weekend when I go to Columbus and do a show, I'll be backstage, and I don't know which ones are going to be there, but the show is supposed to have like Monica and Tamar and different people. You know, I'll end up saying what's up, you know, say something to the people, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'll hobnob a little bit with Silk and my boys from H-Town and whoever else is there, you know, and give people a sneak preview. They get a subscription to my page and everything. But yeah, there's a book and some new music coming out during Black History Month. I've been making some Black History kind of like theme music for like inspiration. It's R&B though, it's funk. But it's messages like imagination, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff, man. I got a lot of little hidden gems. I did a tribute to Emmett Till on there called Lonely Tears, like an album that's for Black History Month, you know, like that kind of, you can take that in better during Black History Month. And my book is called Lotus 3013. It'll be out too during that time. And the premise is that in 3013, hip hop is believed to be a white cultural invention, and there's no traces attached to any blacks ever having anything to do with it. And scientists have taken a hold of it and made this thing called neo-hip hop physics, where they're using the X factor of hip hop to inform how to build certain structures for their architectural design in cities and other things, so it can attract customers in ways that they couldn't imagine on their own. And the source that they're using is the blacks that have been secreted away from society, who identified as hip hop, that are in the prisons. They hooked up stuff to their brains and found out certain wave frequencies and found that certain X factor frequency that informed their proclivity to hip hop. And now they like remixing it, no pun intended, and using it. Anyway, my book is going. It's trapped. You know, it's they're trying to create a perpetual present in the future and lock in the power dynamic that goes with that and get people to be acquiescent to it. And so I need to hurry up and release it because it feels like the flow of life is going that way right now.
It really does.
They want smart obeyers, you know. So if anytime you can buck the system, do it. You know what I mean? So pinch yourself to know you're alive, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's fear that holds us back, yo. Like if we didn't fear not being able to have something called a job and make a wage, we'll have more balls and guts to stand up against truth, you know, speak truth to power.
Yep. And
so ask yourself actually how real that whole concept of capital actually is, this fiat currency that we dealing with, and the markets, and just think about what fractional reserves are, and like look that up and see how we being dealt with. So just take some stuff in, and at a certain point maybe it's not going to be in our DNA to fear, but we need to come to that quicker because man, we gonna be erased out of history, yo.
Gain the knowledge. I agree, man. I'm big on all of it. You know, like I love to focus on all the things that we weren't taught in school, that we weren't taught by society.
There's a book by Kush, Indus Kush, what they never taught you in history class. Indus Kush. That's what he said. Indus Kush, INDUS KUSH, wrote a book called What They Never Taught You in History Class. And it's full of all those facts that we just have no idea that we were a part of. You know.
Acknowledge people, you know, I preach it all the time, right? Just don't be afraid to learn. Like you said, the fear, right? Fear stops us from doing so many things. Don't be afraid to do anything. You can do anything the hell you want in your life. You just got to put fear to the side and know things will work out one way or another.
Real spirit.
Please have, man. But again, my brother, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. And, you know, everything that comes along, like I'll be, whatever you have going on, you pass it to my way and I'll be blasting it, promoting. Like that's one thing I love to do with anyone that's been on the show. You know, I'm gonna show love right back because I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, bro, for sure.
And ladies and gents, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for all the support you guys have continued to give. There goes the neighborhood. And don't forget, subscribe. I'm gonna put Garfield's information on my page so you guys could just click on his link on Instagram. Subscribe, people. It's 99 cents. You know what I mean? That goes a long way when we have everybody supporting and doing things for each other, right? So with that said, till next time, peace.
There goes the neighbor. There goes the neighbor.